Hi lovely friends, thank you so much for being here today. Here's a sneak peek. So grab yourself a coffee or something nice to drink and let's go and see how it was created today. So these metallics and iridescent blue were dancing across the canvas and it was a very liquid paint pouring today and it just went so smoothly. I used my butterfly tool. I've been using that quite a lot lately. It's just amazing to form really delicate shapes and patterns. So I've got my tape here. I've just taped up the back of the canvas, put my jumbo tacks in, and I'm ready to go. So I've just showed you the paint colours there. I'm just going to show you as I pour them individually, and I'll let you know which paints are pouring because it's easy to forget which paints are which as you go along when you've just seen them at the beginning. So you can get an idea of the different colours I had today. I had a very simple palette. I had iridescent blue, iridescent gold, my oxide Amsterdam black, Amsterdam titanium white, and my amethyst. Oh, it was such a gorgeous paint pouring today with these colours. So I'm pouring first of all with the pillow paint, and that's Amsterdam oxide black. I'm now getting my amethyst and I'm going to drizzle with a palette knife a little pattern just across the breadth of that circle. People often ask how much you put down. It's really in proportion to the canvas. This canvas is 10 by 10 inch. The circle is about 6 inches diameter, and then today I'm just putting the paint within that 6 inches from one side to another, and you can see there's more purple on one side than the other. Naturally, when you're doing it with a palette knife, it gives more paint off at the beginning than the end, and that's the look I'm going for, but depending on the tool you can do that less and more. So I'm now going in between that colour, just covering the purple, but also putting this iridescent blue just on the black as well, because both the amethyst and the blue interact so nicely with this black. Now for the gold. This iridescent gold is my favourite at the moment. So I thought I'd start on the centre this time. I'll do a little bit less because gold can be a bit bossy, but still wanting it to have a presence today. I do think gold adds something so nice to paintings. Not always, but most of the time. So now just seeing the reaction already of the oxide black, which tends to act a bit of a cell activator on its own. And when you have Amsterdam titanium white, you've really got two cell activators. So I don't want too many cells coming up. I do want the presence of cells. So the palette knife, as you saw, just went straight across. I wanted to show you that again. So you put the paint on the palette knife, on the back of it, making sure that the widest part is covered, and you place it down gently into the paint and you swipe through the colours that you want to. As I use the palette knife now, I'm literally seeing there's quite a lot of white on there, so I'm going into it gently with the palette knife and just skimming the surface because I want to pick up some of the paint from underneath. This time I'd put some iridescent blue on the palette knife, went into the black and through the other colours. This time I've got purple on the palette knife and I'm doing the same. So I'm literally just intuitively using the colours and experimenting with the palette knife, and whenever you do something it never comes out the same, and each time you experiment you can try putting different colours on the palette knife, just using the cell activator if you want, and also experimenting with how far you go down into the paint as you swipe. So you saw that there, I dipped it into the cell activator and swiping through. wiping it clean each time, dipping it into the gold this time, swiping it through, and then wiping it clean. So it's almost time to add the rest of the pillow paint, because I'd like this pattern to be spread out. And I really wanted to separate it slightly just there, because I'm really loving the bottom part and I'm not liking the top part as much, even though there are quite a few cells in the top part. So I'm changing it a bit now, and I can almost see the end result as I do it, because it's taking form. And the wonderful thing about fluid art is you can change it and you can erase things, you can scrape it off, you can start it again. So I could have scraped that part, but I want it to be part of the finished painting on some level. As you begin to do this more and more, you begin to see things emerging, and that's the story unfolding of each painting. You just want to go with it and see and just start. And once you start, you can then go on to the next step and the next step. So I'm just having a lot of fun with this one today. So I'm just going to leave you for a little while I finish off doing this part and I add the base paint, and I shall see you shortly. So I've now got a lovely glaze on this painting and it's pretty much ready to spin. I don't need to cover all the sides so perfectly, because as I spin, that's naturally going to go down the edge of the painting. So I'll come back shortly with the butterfly tool and we're going to add some embellishments after the spinning, and then we can see what the wet result's like.
She was looking at you, thought you were looking at me. Turns out I was wrong, you said I wasn't, but let's agree to disagree. She tells me all of these things about how you were so sweet, but I know because you said the same things to me. She swept off her feet, and now I can't breathe. 'Cause when you're staring at her, I'm comparing, because she isn't me. I guess I didn't qualify. I guess I wasted my time, 'cause I couldn't beat her if I tried. I hope you're satisfied. It's been a couple of months now since we had that falling out. Things haven't been the same. I miss you. What's that all about? You probably don't think about me. I never crossed your mind. I wish that wasn't true, because you're always in mine. She still swept off her feet, and I still can't breathe. 'Cause when you're staring at her, I'm comparing, because she guess I didn't qualify. I guess I went.
So my butterfly tool here is a case of literally pressing it into the painting, and you do actually feel the bottom of the canvas very, very gently, so you're picking up then some of the base paint that's showing through the colour. So depending on how hard you press depends on the pattern, and I found at the end it gave such an elegant, beautiful finish. I was so pleased with it. Something I use quite a lot now. So you just wipe it. Sometimes you have to wipe it with something wet just to get all of the paint off, but generally speaking, once you're doing a painting, you can just wipe it on the surface cloth, then come back and use it again. So I hope you're enjoying this today, and I'd love to hear what you think about this part of the process and the butterfly tool, and I'll see you shortly for the wet and dry result. So here we are, all finished. I'm just doing some very, very gentle touch-ups. I noticed on the edge there's a tiny bit missing, and also when you've got a black or very dark base, you've got to make sure that all the little cracks in the corners where the canvas is folded all filled in. So here we are, here is the end result and the close-ups. And I just want to use this opportunity to say really, really appreciate every single one of you here. You support my journey, love sharing things with you, and in my commissions and my everyday life with my workshops, it's just such a joy to know what you like. And thank you for suggesting colours. Thank you for being interested in my painting and being on this journey with me. Really appreciate it. So can you see that glaze? It's such a simple recipe. And some beautiful cells. What do you think? What do you think of the colours and the blending? What do you think of this colour palette? So this one is another commission, and it's now in its new home. I'm delighted to say. And it's all varnished. I will put another video out actually shortly, probably the next week or so, as to how I varnish. It's really simple. I put 4 to 6 coats on, and it's almost got a resin finish, a bit like what you can see now, because once your painting starts to dry, it loses that sheen while the paint settles. The reason why it's so glossy now is because it's wet, but you can achieve that again. So there's the dry result and the varnished finished version coming up soon. So once again, thank you so much for being here. It's been a joy to paint for you today. Thank you for being on this journey. I hope to see you again. Happy painting. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe if you like what you see. Hope to see you soon. Bye.